Hi, it is an early Monday morning. I just got ready for the day, and I just wanted to come on and see what comes through. I'm going to breathe for a moment. Something we're all fighting for is our identity. A foolish thing to fight for, or to have to fight for, is your personal identity. But the outside world influences who we are. And in that, we lose ourselves. We forget who we really are because the words of others change that. But do their opinions really matter when we think about them? If someone calls you ugly, does it really matter what they think? If someone calls you stupid, does it really matter what they think? What do they mean to you? Are they a person whose opinion should matter? Because in most cases, they're not. Most of the time, the people who insult us and put words in our heads are people who shouldn't have any influence over our lives. So the girl in your class in high school told you you were ugly, told you you were stupid, and you let that change your identity. I know I have. And I've spent years overcoming the thoughts of others. Not my own thoughts, but thoughts of others that became my thoughts. And we can't let the words of others change our minds about ourselves, but we do. Because we're afraid of judgment. We're afraid of what our neighbor thinks. When in reality, we shouldn't be fearing each other. We should be supporting each other and helping each other and lifting each other up, not putting each other down. And putting each other down comes from jealousy, a place of jealousy. Guaranteed that they are offended by your light. And because they are offended by your light, by your energy, they react out of fear. Because when someone is hurt, light agitates that. It triggers them. Just your presence, your energy triggers them. And it tells them they don't like you, that something is wrong with you. When in reality, you've become the mirror that has reflected back to them their own wrongdoings and their own downfalls. And they don't like what they see. You are a mirror of this world. You are a mirror of everyone around you. You reflect back to them what they reflect onto you. Everyone is a mirror. We all reflect each other's wounds. And in reflecting those wounds, we bring them to the surface. And when we bring wounds to the surface, You poke at them and they hurt. If someone calls you ugly, they believe that in their own heart, that they are ugly. And they might not be able to admit it. But deep down, they feel they are an ugly person. And instead of changing, they project that onto others. The same with a rude person. You could be kind to them and they refuse to be kind to you. Not because they don't have kindness, but because they're hurt. They are wounded. There is something inside of them that does not allow them to bring their kindness forward, to allow themselves to be that vulnerable. Because kindness is vulnerable. Being kind in the face of adversity, it's hard. It is hard to be kind. Sometimes it is hard to do the right thing. And we all have choices to make. We all can choose to project our wounds or not. And sometimes we project them without meaning to. When you get angry or worked up about something small, it's a wound that has been opened. And everyone is wounded. Everyone. There is not a person on the face of this earth that does not have a wound of some type. Whether it's surface level or deep in their hearts. Everyone has wounds. And our job isn't to agitate each other's wounds. Our job is to tell each other that it's okay to be hurt and it's okay to have wounds. But we also must be kind. And kindness is hard when you're wounded. I know firsthand that kindness is hard when you are wounded. Because when I am wounded, I yell and I get angry because that is my protection. My anger has always been my protection. And I'm sure that you have your own protection. Many of us get angry when we're wounded because we can't believe that we allowed someone to poke at that wound. And then we reflect onto them our hurt. And sometimes it's the small things that wound us the most. It's not always a big event in your life or whatever it is, it can be small. Sometimes those wounds are surface level. Sometimes they are something someone said to you and you could never let it go. And it's just a thought that lingers. Sometimes it's an experience that you had and the memory of it affects you. But we have to be stronger than our wounds. We have to stand tall in the face of wounding. Because most of the time, others are not trying to wound you. They're not trying to poke at the wounds that are already there. Most of the time, people just aren't thinking about others' wounds. They don't put that much thought into what they say and what they do. Not everyone has that understanding. And that doesn't make them wrong. It just means that they're not there yet because something inside of them is broken. Or not broken, but something inside of them is wounded. It's hurt. We all act out when we're wounded in one way or another. Some of us go into hiding and isolate ourselves. Others of us have outbursts. We yell and we get mad and use unkind words. And others of us just cry. Some of us feel deeply hurt by it. We all react to our wounds in different ways because each wound is different. But you can't let your wounds affect who you are. You can acknowledge them. You can have that outburst and come back from it and apologize. Explain yourself. Because no one will know your wounds if you don't ever tell them. No one can know your wounds if you hide them. And when you hide your wounds, they don't get healed. They can't be healed because no one knows they're there. And that doesn't mean others can heal you. It just means your close-knit support system that knows your wounds will know how to support you. They will know how to love you because you have told them what hurts you. And that doesn't mean you should tell your life story to everyone. That doesn't mean you should reveal your wounds to everyone. Just a select few, people you know are in your team, people on your side. A lot of times we feel guilty for having wounds. We feel guilt for being the way that we are because we know it's not who we are. And guilt comes from a place of hurt. It comes from a wound. And until that wound is healed, you will always feel guilty for being who you are. But you've got to heal those wounds. I can't tell you how. I can't tell you the best way to do it. We all have to go through this life and struggle and face the mess. And when we face it, that's when we heal. There's going to be good days and there's going to be bad days. And your bad days don't mean you have failed. Your bad days don't mean that you let the hurt win. It just means it came to the surface. It was poked at. And in poking at it, you realized that the wound was still open. And sometimes wounds remain open for a long time. Sometimes it just takes time to heal them. But you have to tell yourself that you'll be okay. Tell yourself that this isn't who I am, and I'm going to be okay. Because if you can tell yourself that you're going to be okay, you will be. Because we live what we believe. And if you can truly, truly believe that one day you will be happy and that you will be okay, you will be. Remember that everyone has wounds. Be considerate. Don't poke at them just for the fun of it. Don't be the instigator, because the instigator doesn't win anything. The instigator is just looking for a reaction. And we don't need to look for reactions. We need to look for depth. Search for the whys. Because it's in the whys that we find the answers to our own wounding and to others. And remember, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You are you. You're exactly who you're supposed to be. And it might rub some people the wrong way, but that just shows them where they need to heal. And I think that's something a lot of people don't understand, is that when you are triggered, it's pointing to something that needs to be healed. People get triggered and they like to place blame, and they like to brush it off as nothing, and it was just an outburst. But outbursts don't happen without feeling behind them. They don't just happen for no reason. There's reason behind action. Just love yourself. Love yourself through the hard days. Love yourself through the hard moments. Tell yourself that it will be okay. Because in the end, it will be okay. And if it's not the end. Learn to apologize and mean it. Learn to forgive and mean it. This is how you heal wounds. We forgive, we accept apologies, we offer them, and we heal. You can't just slap a Band-Aid on it and ignore it. You have to mean it from the heart. Remember that everyone is wounded and that we all need to heal. There's nothing wrong with you.